How's it going, guys? And welcome back to another day here in Disney's Animal Kingdom. And today we are going to be looking at changes slash improvements I think we could see for Disney's Animal Kingdom. And this is for 2025. I'm continuing a little series, a mini series we are doing in the beginning of the year, and I want to talk about things. I mean, honestly, I think Disney kind of has their hands full already with some of the projects they've announced. But what are some other things I would love to see Disney add? This is more just kind of just armchair imagineering. Just these are things that I think Disney could use to improve the area. And for Animal Kingdom, it's kind of interesting because this area needs a lot of help. I truly believe they need a lot of attractions to make this area better. But I will preface that I want to keep the theme of Animal Kingdom at its core. Like, this is about the animals. And I don't necessarily know how much I love the idea of, like, if they were to add a Moana flume ride or Zootopia. I'm not going to go in those directions because I don't really think they fit with Animal Kingdom. And I would hate to see either of those go to a place like, you know, Hollywood Studios, but I have a feeling those are the type of attractions that could end up going to Hollywood Studios just because they've already lost their theme there at Hollywood Studios. Animal Kingdom still has the core of the park, and the core theme is still intact. And I think that if you add things like Zootopia or Moana, it really is taking away from what this area could be. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a plot of land that's available, and would it be a perfect spot for something that does fit the theme of Animal Kingdom? It would drive a ton of sales, and this is a property from the Renaissance that Disney needs to tap into more. And we're going to go into two here today, but we're going to start with the first one. And the first one is not going to be the one that I'll leave the big one at the end. We're going to go with the one that maybe has been talked about before, but really we don't get to hear too much, at least recently, of this rumor. And that is the idea of adding Jungle Book. A Jungle Book flume slash dark ride. And from what I've heard, if it were to be a flume ride, I don't necessarily know if that is the best fit. I think of the two attractions we're going to talk about today, one should be a dark ride, and one should be the flume ride. You don't need both to be the flume ride. I mean, listen, I love me some flume rides. Even if you do something like a Small World, like it's just a regular boat ride, and the other one is just a flume, I'm okay with that. And you have to think too, like especially in Africa, like is there a ton of rivers and things like that? Like, yeah, I guess there is rivers, obviously, because that's, it's not the desert, but I feel like the other attraction here in Africa, it would be more themed for the dark ride. So that's why for the Jungle Book, I'm going to say if there is a spot in Asia where we could see some sort of Jungle Book attraction. Let's see if they'll warp us to Asia. There we go. So I don't know how much fully this fits the theme of like Expedition Everest necessarily, but because the problem is with Jungle Book is more based off of an India, like a jungle in India, not necessarily Asia. So you kind of run into I know most of the Disney executives probably wouldn't think that far or care, but I kind of do look at if they were to do something like that, right? The easy thing could be you take Kali River Rapids and you turn Kali River Rapids into Jungle Book themed. But I love the theme already of Kali River Rapids, right? Like, take, the theme about deforestation and ruining a habitat. Like that's already a great attraction. Like that's probably like you don't want to replace. You need to add. Disney's Animal Kingdom needs more attractions. And if you have an excuse to add an IP like the Jungle Book, take it. Take that opportunity. Now the question is, where would something like this go? And this one might be a little upsetting to some people. But my kind of concept here is you take the land by Up, a Great Bird Adventure, you move that show, you probably have to do a little bit of expansion behind. Oh my god, a Disney park actually expanding its footprint. I know, crazy idea. But if there's enough room, that would make sense. That would make sense for Disney to do that. And I know there's probably not a lot of room back there, but I hate to say it, that's probably the problem with this is there isn't a ton of real estate to do that. Like they make so much of this park about the safari and the savannah. Like there is a limited amount of space in terms of in this area of the park just how much they can really add. But I would love to see a Jungle Book attraction somewhere in Animal Kingdom. If it ends up being in Asia, if they could swing it somewhere else, whatever. But I think that would be a nice addition. So that's the first one. We're going to warp to Pandora for the second one, and it might throw you for a spin in the direction I'm going to go here. So we're right by the Nomad Lounge, which is really cool. But that's not where we're going to go. We're going to go to Pandora, and we are going to head to the kind of the corner section of Pandora, because there is a giant expansion plot back here by Pandora, and there was an expectation that they would add to Pandora, they would add another attraction here, which is obviously a very interesting concept. And what would they add there? That's the other question, right? There's obviously a lot about water, in especially the newer movies, about fire. So there's a couple of different elemental directions they could go if they were to add a Pandora expansion. But we're going to go in a different direction. See, I got you there for a minute. Today, we're going to look at adding a property from the 90s, very well known, has a ton of merchandise, and every time I go into Animal Kingdom in particular, this IP screams Disney's Animal Kingdom. It's all about the circle of life. It's all about those Simba plushies to the Disney executives. Disney's Lion King. We're going to bring the flume ride that they got going on over in Paris, and if it's not a flume ride, make it into a dark ride. Make it a different experience in that spot. Because if you look at the area for where that attraction is, my footing for Animal Kingdom, I haven't been here in a while, so I'm actually a little bit lost, I'm going to be honest with you. So let's head over to Africa and see if we can get where we need to go from Africa. That's why I've been kind of stalling making this part. Here we go. Now I know where we are now. Making a dark ride or flume ride for Lion King. This is a layup. You've got the Festival of the Lion King, the theater show, right over here. So you've got this area here, and off to this jet, like it kind of jets out here. This takes you over to Pandora. But look at all this space back here. This is not by accident. Disney, we're not going to go all the way back there. I don't want to emphasize going into spaces we're not supposed to. But there's a lot of space back here. They have the Club 33 for Disney's Animal Kingdom back here. There's a large expansion area right here in front of our eyes. This could be a Lion King attraction. Right behind the canteen. And this is all 1-to-1 scale recreation. This is all actual space back here. This would be perfect. You add a little expansion to the Africa theme. You add a Lion King attraction. And yeah, would it be nice to see a Pandora expansion? It would be kind of cool. But I think since James Cameron kind of has come out with those movies, they aren't nearly as popular as maybe people thought. So as much as they have the expansion space there, I don't necessarily think Disney's going to capitalize on adding more Pandora. I think they're going to keep what they've got with Pandora, but legitimately, I don't see them adding any more to that kind of area. This would create a ton of foot traffic back here, right? This is not an area that really sees a lot of attention because, well, there isn't really much going on. You add a big attraction like that, like the Lion King, a huge IP. There is so much you could do here. You could add similar to the restaurant they just added on the Disney Treasure. You could add that like Sarabi, the restaurant. Add a Sarabi themed restaurant. Add a giant Simba and Nala gift shop, and of course the dark ride. This is a home run, Disney. Please take this one. People would love that. It's a layup. Disney, just take the lobbed fastball right over the plate and hit a home run with it. This is an easy. Please, Disney. This is one everybody would be on board for. It is pure expansion. It is literally not taking away anything from Pandora, not taking anything away from what you've got already with Africa. It is pure expansion. It is pure capacity expansion. Please, Disney, this is an easy one. And that's going to do it for Animal Kingdom today. I really don't have a ton of things. I mean, obviously the biggest thing right now everybody's talking about is the huge expansion to the Dino Land area. But to be honest with you, that's not really expansion. And Zootopia, as much as it's an interesting fit taking over Bug's Life, I think I'm more okay with that, but you're not creating capacity. You need to add capacity to these parks. We need to see more new things, not just replacing, like actual additions. So when you're adding a Jungle Book themed boat ride, Jungle Book boat ride, and a Lion King dark or flume ride, give us that. And the classic style Lion King, not the new, the recent live action. Don't give us the live action. Give us the 90s version of Lion King, and people would eat it up. So that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, as you guys always typically do. I appreciate the support on the channel. I've really been enjoying this series. It's really been a lot of fun, kind of going around the parks and kind of things we could change with everything and to try and make it better. Right? We're not just changing it to change it. We want to change things to make them better. And I think we can do that with some of these additions. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you again next time.